I was quiet, lanky kid who mumbled so nobody could hear me. And he looks just like me. No one told me these things before I went to secondary school. So I am telling him myself, right? My last one, my baby, is going into secondary school. We got everything sorted, the uniform, but like the whole 9 yard, everything is ready. Um, yeah, but the thing keeping me up isn't all those things. It's something else. I am Nene, and I help people become the person their goals require. And everything that I share here, it is something that I have lived first. So my kiddo is going into big school, secondary school. Yeah, and over here it starts at 11 years. So he's finished, he's done with primary school, he's going to the school system. And the good thing about the school he's going into, they had a day where they can go into school during the last term to just check out the school with everyone and everything. And then they had a week long summer school to because this school, I think the capacity is almost like 1,000, I think, in the school. So it can feel overwhelming for someone who has come in from because most of the primary school settings over here, kids like the school sometimes not even up to 200 or less in the whole primary school, and then you're going into from that to like a woof, you're like swarm in and you're like the year seven, they're always the smallest one and all that, so it can become overwhelming. So the school created this summer school to transition them, to get them comfortable so that they can know, okay, this is where this class is, this is where you go to do this is where the playground is, the canteen. They get familiar and comfortable with that. So it's so good, and I'm really grateful for that ability to just get them situated. Who do you need to speak to if you have come across any issues, stuff like that. They went into like they did other activities during that summer school. They went bowling and to some museum just to get them to at least know each other and bond and everything. So they're prepared, right? So that on that school side, grateful that that's happening. And that side of things is great. But here's the thing, because I see myself in this kiddo, I see me in him in a sense that I was this shy, extremely shy, introverted human. And I was very skinny, lanky. Like I was very lanky growing up. And because of that lankiness, I always tried to just like even right now, sometimes I have to remind myself, Nene, come on, like stand up tall, because I'm so used to when I see other people who are shorter than me or whatever, I try to just kind of like that. Even I will put my legs apart to get into the same level and height as them, so that I'm not, I'm not like a sore thumb and like, you can notice and all those things. And yeah, he has those tendency. And my shyness it might not be the same. He's introverted, and then the shyness is just the extra element. So as we talked in previous video, you don't have to be introverted to be shy. It's just another extra element of the thing, right? And my shyness for me was because of one, my bedmark, and two, the undiagnosed dyslexia that I had that I didn't know. I was just so shameful. I like just didn't want to be picked on. Like they call me and I can't read this thing or whatever that is or da da da. So I'm always no eye contact. Like some people, I don't even know people because I never really looked people in the eyes. But if you tell me what kind of shoe does this person like to wear, or what kind of like how do like I could tell you by their footwear who this person is, not what they look like or things like that. Oopsie, excuse me. So yeah, how And I truly struggled in school and always like would be at the back, the very back, and not say anything or like be like, yeah, or yeah, that was me. And seeing that in him and seeing he is in our home, he would like he's himself. But when we go out or when we do things, it's just yeah. And when you speak to him, it's yeah, like yeah, more. So I thought, okay, we need to get him ready to go like get him ready for school because we've gotten the physical side, we've gotten like the all those other side of things ready. We also need to get the mental side of prep going. The great thing about it is he's my I have three others who have gone through this process, who have not as, I would say as reserved as he is, or they had tendencies, they all had. Like, but he is like the one that is most like how I was. And we get to get him ready for school because now summer is dying down and the prep and getting things sorted out is now time to now get him ready on the mental side of things as well as he ventures into school. So I want to be sharing like some pointers. I think I have about five or so that I want like we're working on to support him moving forward to get him into the right state of mind as he goes into this new environment, and it's just going to be a great transition for him. You know, yes, do we can we adventure like plan out for everything? No, but this we can start putting some things in place. So start getting him to have that in his mind ready. One of the key things as well is like for him to projecting the voice. It is so key, right? Because I used to mumble. Yeah, because I remember one time, like even when I was in my teenage, right? Somebody opened the door for me, and I said thank you, but I said thank you, thank you. I don't know if you can hear it. Thank you. He didn't hear it, and he was like, "Excuse me, thank you." But I said thank you, but because I'm so used to mumbling, he didn't hear it, and he now made it seem like whole fruity thing, like I'm opening up like, ugh, what do I and then I just couldn't start expressing. So we need to get him to project the voice, not necessarily shout. It's just don't speak under your breath because people ain't gonna hear you. People will take advantage of that. People will see you as like, huh. But when you start like now, it's when he's speaking and it's not kind of like because at home with a mom, like he doesn't tend to do that at home. But when he's out and about and it's like whatever, we just kind of like speak up. Can't hear. Like project your voice. You're not shouting, trust me. You just need to get that voice out there so that people can hear you. It's very second nature to do that, but it's like, look, you and helping him understand why. It is not necessarily like, look, if you're doing that, you can get picked on as like, okay, you don't have belief or like you don't have that confidence in self or whatever that is. But at the same time, it's also making sure that you're clear and you can be it is okay to be introverted and still be able to express oneself and then feel like, you know what, I'm not participating in that yet. But the mumbling for me and for my kid is like practicing, like just speaking up, like how you even say it, how you're like, projecting self. So it's one of the things that we're working on and focusing on at home. And he's getting better at that. Like, look, we're not like, no, no, excuse me, say it out loud. Just get the words out. So no mumbling, speaking under your breath. And the second thing that like we're talking through and like just reminding and everything is like no one is a mind reader. No one knows what you're thinking. Because for me, when I was growing up, I'd be like, oh, I really want to participate. I really want to do that thing, or I want to like. And you're thinking, yeah, they can see that, like, I want to, but if you don't raise your hand, if you don't say, I want to participate, or if you don't put yourself out there, no one's going to pick you. The people who are comfortable, who are like expressive, who are like whatever, gets to be chosen all the time. And if you do not express interest, you'll be left out as well. So knowing that your teachers, your classmates, people around cannot read your mind, they cannot see that, oh yeah, oh he might want to be part of, like, be interested in this. You have to say that you are. You have to put your, like, have to sign up for the things. You have to, whatever that is. The amount of things that I really wanted to do, I'm like, that I would have been great at that. But because I was just kind of like, oh, I don't, yeah, I don't want the attention. I don't want people to not be like, ooh, like this. Then I wouldn't say anything. Then it'd be like, oh man. And then someone else is now doing a thing that you desire. So yeah, you've got to be able to express yourself, even if, regardless how uncomfortable it is. Putting yourself out there is like, is key, and it is okay, right? And the other thing as well is, like, because of your quiet persona or how people see you, I'm telling him, be like a wallpaper. Honestly, be like a wallpaper. If someone says something to you that is unkind, that it is, you don't want to hear, just act as if you didn't hear it. The amount of times that people will say stuff, I'll be like, just looking. And they'll be like, oh, maybe she can't, or she's whatever. And they'll be like, oh, they'll move on. Just act as if you don't hear it. Because even the slight, like, or like, they won't. You've given that power away. And you're kind of like giving it to them. So when you act like a wallpaper, and it's like, oh, and then if they now come for you, like, I'm talking to you, da 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 da. Again, it's just kind of like, uh, well, do as if like you're clueless. So we did look quite a bit of what's it called, play role play on, like, what does that get to look like? Someone's like kind of like saying something to you, or about you, or whatever that is, and and they say something, and it's just kind of like, again, like looking beyond that. So to me, oh, kind of like that. It's like, and then when they come to your face, it's like, oh, da, 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 like, oh, yeah, sorry, what? So even in that can make people get thrown off and like just don't bug you. To be a wallpaper. And then it ties on to the next thing we talked about, which is check me out when I'm older. Check me out when I'm older. That one ties into being Nigerian and knowing that, look, I do not like my we do not have the time to do an extra grooming, getting so like fashionist, like all those 9 years. I do not, like, look, I'm not gonna be spending some wasted money because someone says, okay, this brand of thing, or this hairstyle, or this look, or this thing is great. Because right now, my kids have a standard low cut. It's like very, I don't even know how to describe it, but it's barely an inch off the head, right? That then grows up, that lasts probably 2 3 weeks, nah, 3 weeks, 3+ weeks if not, and then we go and just cut it down again. But if you're having the hairstyle, you're having a particular kind of like shape that requires upkeep, we do not have time for that. I do not have time for that. I can't even send it. Like, look, to me, it's just pointless. And here's the thing, all our kids have gone through this. They all have it. But the thing is, some kids will then see, like, my goodness, don't you like, try something else? Like, what's the thing? So in a way that we have, especially with like my older ones, is when someone starts to say, oh my goodness, like, oh, skinhead or this or whatever, blah blah blah, like, just tell them, check me out when I'm older. Check me out. You'll be seeing a whole different person. And if you don't want to say that, mumble it to yourself. Because right now, this choice of hairstyle is on us, blame it on us. It is your parents saying, this is what feels like we can maintain, we can look after, and it's easy, convenient. Because I haven't got the time or the premises that saying, mm-mm. All our kids went through that. They all had the same hairstyle. And when they said, when they now were older, towards the end of their secondary school or whatever, and they can start looking after themselves, not on me, then you can start doing other things. And you have to be able to pay for it for yourself because I'm not, it's not coming off my pocket. This is a standard, whatever. So using that phrase, check me out when I'm older, which some of my kids have used like before, is like, hello, check me out. I'll be looking the bomb because I'll be looking after myself. I'll be grooming myself. Like everything will be on point. Right now, I'm on the mercy of my parents. So you don't even have to go into the explanation, but the anchor word is just to make you feel like, huh, this is just because of circumstances, situation. But check me out when I'm older. Give me 5 years, and then you see, you know, my one of my kids was like, yeah. I used to lie, and I was like, yeah, he, no, he was like, he was like looking at himself and was like, yeah, now they can come check me out. And I just started laughing because yeah, we've been using the phrase now they can come check me out because now he's like everything he put together. He looks the part like, so yeah, check me out when I'm older, and that just kind of like helps with that situation. If they're making fun or whatever, they're like, just check me out when I'm older. And they keep saying, just check me out when I'm older. It just shuts them down. It's like, oh, okay, we got it. That's fine. You have no choice in how you're looking or whatever. It's your brain. Yeah, check me out when I'm older. So that just kind of like, so that when they're pointing out and saying, oh, look at how you look, or this is what's going on, da, 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 is because, blame me. My parents gave me like this. When I'm older, check me out. Check me out when I'm older. So that kind of like, we've talked about that and we've expressed that. So they understand that. And it's also about look, we stand tall. Yes, we might be the lanky way or whatever. Looking at dad's pictures, he was lanky. Mama was lanky. And look at us now. Do I still look lanky? I'm cool, you know? And it's understanding that you don't have to kind of like, oh, like, no, stand up tall. Like, you're tall, own your tallness. Don't let it be like, oh, yeah, him. Like, no, it's okay. It is what you were dealt with, what you have, own it. When I was in school, I was always like, my legs were always apart, or I would have one in front and the back so that I can just lose some inches. So that I can just, now I'm like, oh, I'm gonna gain some more inches. Like, come on, I'm gonna get like you're taller. But it was like that. Don't hide. Don't feel like, oh, gosh, I don't want to like whatever. Stay your, just be there. Okay, you don't have to be one of the first people to speak or talk or whatever, but don't hide who you are, your 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 personality, your whatever. Because yes, the tendency that I had to just be like, oh yeah, let me just go to the back. You can get on the side. You don't have to block anyone, but you don't have to feel like, oh, I don't know. So something else kind of like where like where we've walked on everything. And the other thing as well, like we've worked on the previous video, I've also talked about how um I was ashamed of my name, like especially like just being like everyone had oh like this every name is beautiful, right? The English name and stuff like that. And then you come to mine and it's like Nene and it's like oh, and it's like how you doing? Or it's my surname and stuff like that. And I really wanted that difference for them. So reminding him about be proud of your name, know why we gave the name, the reason why it is so, why there is no easy pronouncing name there, there is no English name there is no like pet name. We gave you names that have meaning. We gave you a name that has a core tied in from who you are and who gave you the name and why we gave you those names. That if anybody starts making fun of you, you understand the circumstances and knowing when that name was given, why it was given, and who gave it, and how it was chosen, like all those things. When people start making fun of your name, you remember who you are, and you say with pride. And I've witnessed them saying their name. It's not like oh my no, like no, this is my name, and carry that forward, carry that moving into this new space. That when they're asking now, introduce your names, what's your name? You don't go like this is my name, this is it, and we're anchoring that in, being comfortable, and it's like yes, even to the point where I know this is extra. Like if you ask them, okay, what's your name? Where you from? Like yes, they were all born here, they all have the right to be here, but they tell you I'm Nigerian. It's my name. It's who I am, and they're comfortable with it. And with this child who's now transitioning is just projected. Be like own it. He has it. He knows why. Now let's even be more proud that this is who we are. And like and all the people, all the ancestors that have been behind you who are supporting and urging you on. So be comfortable with that name. So that's one of the key things that like just reminding that look, this is who you are. This is who you are. So the next thing that we're tackling now is as a family, our kids, none of them have personal devices, personal phones, tablets, whatever. When they were gifted, it's when they go to their grandparents, they can use it for a short time while they're there. But in our home, they don't have. It's one general thing. In the living space, everybody gets to see what you're doing. Now that the older ones, they've got their own devices, they have their own things, they can go do their own thing. But for us, this is how it is. So understanding the reasoning behind it, understanding why, what the value is. One of the reasons for us is like, look, as boys, their mind, they're not developed in that sense. Are we naive that they go to school, they're not seeing other people's phone or whatever that is? Of course they are. It's there. But they don't have, like when you come back home, there's nothing that's going to say, okay, this is affecting your sleep. You can't, you're waking up late or you're groggy in school because you're on your device. How? It's not going to be their truth. It's not going to be a thing, because no one has their own thing going like that. The exposure, I've done cases as a British Sign Language interpreter where kids were bullied. Like I'm talking about like 9 and 10 year olds, like coming together in a WhatsApp group. Like first of all, what they're doing in a group and bullying this other person because the parent is like deaf and blah, just stupidness. Or is there another one where somebody just sent an image that wasn't crazy and just shared it in a like things like that? Am I saying that my kids in school with friends that showed like they won't? Of course, but while you're home, it's not going to be a thing, and you're not going to be like distracted, be focused, and blah blah blah. So having the understanding, the reason why when people come and say, "Oh, you don't have a phone," like yeah, know why we're doing it, understand the reasoning, and knowing that look, my older brother has done it. The three other ones they don't have phone. The other two now they finish and they have phone. My other one still in school doesn't have. So they survived. So I will survive. Having that understanding and knowing what it is that, okay, people are gonna say stuff. People are gonna like, but know that we'll be fine. We'll catch up on the technology. We'll do whatever it is. We'll find a way. It is okay. So having that understanding so that when people start making fun of you, like, oh, you don't have a phone. Oh, how you gonna like? It's okay. We'll make a way. We would always make a way. Even like one of my other kids who was into sporting, dad had to be. People were like, "Oh my goodness, your dad is in the group just to tell you what's going on." It is what it is. It is only a short time. Before you know it, 5 years is gone, and then we're talking about a whole different thing. So time flies, and it's all good, and they'll be fine. You know, no. So yeah, no phone. Understanding why that's not going to be a thing, and be okay and be fine that this is how things are for us and it is okay. So him understanding that and understanding that his older brothers have been through it, that they're telling him how things are, and fortunately for him, he's going into a school. Another brother is in the same school who's been there, condemned shop, like, okay, here we're going to do, we go to school together, we'll come back and all those things. So yes, there is that leverage there and brotherhood and support there. But knowing that all these things that you're going to experience and all these things you're going to do, your older brothers have been there. They have done that. They have like completed it. It is a thing. So the evidence for you is there. Now we get to make sure that the other side of those, of how reserved we are and how same on the quiet side we are, we're also going to like make sure that, yeah, we project that, we do all those things, we're fine, and also understanding, because one of the other things that with my other kids were kind of like, oh, he did this, he's can't, da, da, da. And it's like, yeah, he can, because in his family, that's how they do it. In our family, this is our values, this is what we do. So you cannot say, oh, this person was allowed to do that, da 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 da. Like, but it's not how, like, our core things for us. So you can't compare that this person, that person, yeah, everyone else does, like, yeah, but this is what we like, how we roll. For instance, like we don't have phone. Like some kids after school, their parents allow them to just hang a bit or whatever. You don't have a phone, mister. I need you home by this time. If you're not home by this time, we start worrying. We're not into that, whatever. So if they're allowed to stay out and to do whatever and to go hang out with their friends, we don't do that. We don't do sleepover. We don't do all those other things. Okay? If someone invites you for the birthday, that's a different situation. But just to just say, oh, randomly, oh, let me just go and hang on a school week, no, it's not a thing. And on the premise on the phone, they don't have a phone, but they know where they live. They know their address. They know their phone numbers, so they've memorized it. They've written down. They have it. So, I did speak in a previous video when I my phone got stolen, and I went to report it, and I was like, okay, what number can we call you on? And I'm there, like I memorized my own husband's number and everything, but because of the shock and everything, I was like, what's the end? Like, so I'm even thinking if anything happens, yes, to memorize it now, we have to like write it down and put it in a special place in the bag so that if anything, like we just like the shock, whatever, you know where to access it. It's written down somewhere so that if you go, mine goes blank, there is somewhere that I can just tap into and go. You know who to ask, not just any random person to ask. Okay, can you help me call? Because people like, well, you're a young black boy, like you want to rap, like how to approach people to say, please help me call this an emergency or stuff like that. Who to ask? We've done like we've talked about it, like role play, like things like that. So we try and cover as much as possible in that sense. But it's like knowing all those things, you know, being being tall, body language leaks a lot. If you don't have that thing, people can just tell like, oh yeah, he's not like, it's like you have to like hold your ground. Hold your ground. If someone comes for you, okay, I don't know. what's the word, condone violence or fight whatever, but someone comes and give you one, don't just run. Defend yourself and give him back. Because it's called self-defense. They gave you, give it back. I know. Nene is saying that. But they're coming for you. They gave, but don't you give in like you punching. That's the thing. We're working on the reaction so that you don't get to that point of heated and calling it. All these things is so that if people are saying stuff, you don't, it doesn't affect you, like the name calling or like the teasing or like you to be the dog, like wallpaper is all those things so that you don't react, it doesn't affect you. But someone keeps pushing at you, which has happened with one of my other boys, and they give you one, oh yeah, I'll give it back. And he did, and some, but he was let out because it was self-defense. But we do it in like, that's how it rolls. But that's what I'm saying. And you know all this transitioning for me, it's always been like every little bit. I tell you, when my kids could work, I would celebrate. When they stopped needing me to feed them was a celebration. All this. So we're now celebrating that the whole chapter has ended. Like my kids have all left primary school. We're now into this new space. Now we don't have to pick up or drop off. They get to like go to school themselves. um they don't need us. Like some parents initially will be taking them to school gate and stuff like that. We've empowered them. We've done the bus route to the school. This is how many stops, this is where you go to, this is where how you walk and stuff like that. Look, go. First day of school, it will be out the door, take the picture of first day school uniform, all parade, like how like the whole new clean, everything. Take that picture, get on the bus, wave you goodbye, and you're off. Fortunately for him, he's gonna probably be going on the first day he's going on his own. But after that, that's another thing about good thing about the school. The first day, the the year sevens would go to school themselves, and then a day, I think the next year, the senior ones will come in and everyone else will now join in. So he would now like, look, empowering them to, we're not taking you to the gates, we're not seeing you off, you're a big man now. And we've done the bus training, how to take the bus, how to come back, if the bus is off, what to walk, if there's diversion, who to ask, what, like, you know, you fortunately with every kid, you kind of like know, okay, this is what's happened, so make sure this, that, and we'll just see how it goes. But my thing is, I just wanted to make sure at least let's start getting the minds, like the mindset side of things strong, knowing who you are, that you are building that self trust and self belief for self in that stage, you know, and yeah, getting him to be who he is, to kind of like show himself as well, because he has such dry humor. Once he is just free to be and is comfortable around, um his energy, his like it's not, there's nothing say to fix. It's just I see when you're around people you don't know, new people and things like that, how you just want to like just hide away or dim, and this is like, baby, first impression matters, how you show up, all those things. People are like, oh, stuff, oh, like, be you, be you. What's that? How are you handling this on your end? How are you handling this? Like, um, how are you doing this? Because it's not just what's in the bag. You know, I want him like when he's going to school, not what's in his heart. Like what's going on in here as well. How he shows up, what's going on, and yeah, the whole 9 yards. How you navigating at your end? What's up? And if you got into this point and you got some pointers or anything like that, click on the like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already, because we do this every single day. And yeah, would love to know if you have a list you have, or things you do before the bell goes in, before the kids go back into school, especially if they're going into a whole different set of school or a whole different changes or whatever. that is happening. I would love to know in the comment section so we can carry on this conversation. And as always, remember that your voice matters and it is your time to use it. Bye for now. Bye.